Hey everybody, welcome back to the Minecraft Create mod. I'm Jomomma, your host, and take a look over my head. Look at that thing. Those are Nixie Tube modules. Let's see the exact, okay, let's see what it says when I hit number 7. Nixie Tube, okay. It's a pair of Nixie Tubes per block. And you say to yourself, well, what's a Nixie Tube? Okay, well, let me back up just a little bit. So, I got a message, a couple of messages, several messages actually, comments, very helpful comments, which just started me down a rabbit trail from I'm sorry, I apologize in advance if I'm about to botch your name, Surreal Al 77, did I say that right? I know it's not spelled like surreal, but it just kind of sounds like surreal. Anyway, nothing on the internet is spelled perfectly. In fact, I think there's some cred that's given to people who can find creative ways to misspell things on the internet. Anyway, so you know who you are. And you pointed out, Surreal Al pointed out to me about several different things, looking into several different blocks, and it started me down a rabbit trail of just, looking at a few of the different blocks that I never really looked at before. And I'd kind of like to cover a few of them, if I may. I said the next video was going to be automating the production of water wheels, and I'll show you that we have done that, but I'm probably going to concentrate on these little things first, and the actual how-to video might be next time. We'll see. Anyway, so look at those Nixie Tubes above my head. It says let's automate. Oh man, I love them. And this has actually special meaning for me. Well, first of all, let me show you how they work. So let's see, come on, no. It was number 7, F5. Thank you very much. So let's lay these out. I've got Nixie Tube modules. Yes, we are in creative mode. And let's put these right here. We're going to do 5 of them together. Now, they do a few different things. And let's get some redstone going, if I may. And we'll put this next to the shaft. We'll just replace the shaft with it, all right? So if I take this lever right here and put it there. Okay, look at that. So if each Nixie Tube module, what it can do is it can give you the strength of the redstone based on distance. So if I do this, let's use some, okay, 9. That tells you the redstone strength at that point. Okay, that's pretty cool. But that's not the only thing we can do with it. In fact, it's not even the best thing we can do with it as far as I'm concerned. Let's put that like that. Fill that block. There we go. So what we can do is put these Nixie Tubes together. It's 10 digits right now, and that's for a reason. So if I go over to this anvil and I take this tag, I take this name tag, pop it in here, and let's just type up Nixie Tubes with an exclamation point. It's funny how Nixie Tubes? No, do we need an exclamation point? No, we don't. Nixie Tube. Or we could do this. Nixie Tube with an exclamation point. 10 digits, right? So, but I like the idea of, let's add the S. And now we change it. Grab that. So now we have this name tag that says Nixie Tubes. Boom. Look at that. Tell me, how cool is that? That is freaking awesome. Now, if we really do want to do it, we can come here and take our name tag, which we still have apparently. Throw some exclamation points on there, and boom, Bob's your uncle. And now we've got them. Isn't that too cool? Now, I haven't tried this at night, but I can only assume that they glow. And like I said, the Nixie Tube thing has special meaning for me because if you've ever seen it, get a chance, do a Google search for a Nixie Tube clock. And in fact, I'll try to put an image on the screen here. Nixie Tube clock. It's basically a clock made of these tubes. Now, these tubes, they're real, no shit, vacuum tubes from like the 50s and 60s. And, I seem to remember a movie way back when where it might have even been MASH or something. I don't know. It was an episode of MASH where there was a timer on the lower part of the screen, and that you could see the numbers counting down, and it was vacuum tube created numbers. The little filaments in the vacuum tube are numbers, and depending on which one is illuminated, depends on which number gets lit up. And they're apparently have earned the name Nixie Tubes. I think they're like NL17 or NL14, I think is the actual name. But they've earned this name, and people have been finding them and making clocks out of them and charging a huge amount of money for them. And asked my wife about it. She finds this very funny. I find it less funny, but I got to one of those companies on Facebook that sells Nixie Tube clocks. You just have to assemble it. And I ordered it because I'm like, oh, it's a good price. And if you've ever seen my wood shop, which, let me see if I can do a thing here. Can I do it? Can I set this thing up? Oh, come on. Okay, I think it's working. Let me put it up here. Yeah. Check it out. Oh, is that totally washed out? Yeah, it kind of is. And I apologize for that if it's washed out. But this is my wood shop, and I mean, it's a mess right now. But I really want to deck it out in something really cool. And then when I get my own shop, I want to put a Nixie Tube clock in that shop. I think it would just look absolutely awesome. But anyway, and then we ordered it and we got it. And it turned out that you get what you pay for. It was a really crappy substitute. I would almost say it's fraudulent, but it was just sort of a bait and switch. It wasn't really a Nixie Tube clock. It was this stupid plastic thing that was not at all what I was looking for. So it's a joke. And how I didn't even talk to her before I bought it. I did talk to my wife, and she's like, you know, I would have said something, and it doesn't smell right. So I think it's just kind of awesome that, you know what? Life has been good. It gives me this mod that actually lets me have my Nixie Tubes. They look great. But you can't make a clock out of them. I don't know, unless, can you? You know, now I'm curious. Okay, so assorted items, is that where we'd find it? Where would we find the clock? Is there any way? I mean, I'm going totally, this is a total, oh, it would be a tool, right? A clock would be a tool. This is a total swag right here. I don't know if this is going to work, but it goes back to 0. What does that mean? What does that mean? Is it doing anything? No. No. Oh, fudge. Nope. Nope. Ah, drat. Okay, I had high hopes there that maybe it would do that, but apparently it does not. Can I put it back? Yes, I can. Great. Alright, but there you go. So we have Nixie Tubes, and man, it'd be great if it was a clock, but it's just kind of a nice little addition to the game that makes me love this game even more, because I think those just look fan-frickin-tastic in real life. Like I said, do a Google search. I'll try to put an image on the screen just to reiterate how awesome they look. Anyway, so, but what he pointed out, oh, actually, you know what? I see something right there over my right shoulder that we're also going to look at, so let's take a peek. You remember that I did a thing. Okay, what is this? This is on 16. Let's slide it to 12. Okay, so that's better. Am I right? Okay, so you remember that we found out that there was this speed difference. You can see it right here in these two wheels. They're moving at can I get the RPMometer thingy? Can I get the speedometer? Yes, let's get the speedometer. Let's put it right where the clock is that I apparently don't need. Okay, 8 RPMs, right? So now if I put that there, now it's going 12. What I can do with this, it's called, where are we at? It's called a rotation speed controller. And this bad boy allows you to take an input, which is this input down here, and you run it into this thing, and you slap this wheel on top of it. You slap this large gear, and whatever you set, which we can adjust this thing, 8, oh man, I think we broke it. We broke it. I didn't mean to break it. Okay, so apparently it has its limits, and I just found one of them. All right. Okay, so put it. Yeah, see, it's not going to work. Not unless I disconnect it. Right? I must disconnect it. Yes. Okay. So let's try it again. put it there, and it's at 16. Let's drop it to, let's drop it to 12. And I think we'll find out that that matches this. Let's slap that there, and I think it matches just fine. Now this wheel here is in sync. This row of water wheels is in sync with this other 6. So now, if we slap our speedometer on it, it is 12 RPMs. And if we come up here, we're going to see an addition 96 RPMs, which is great. And look at that. We came up to almost 18,000 stress units like we were talking about. What happened. So there we go. So we've managed to use an existing block in the system to connect it. The only disadvantage to this is this wouldn't really work early game because it requires a... let's see if I can find the thing. See what it looks like. It requires a integrated circuit, which is a little bit of a pain in the butt. So we can't really do that first thing. It takes a little bit to create it. So anyway, I wanted to point that block out to you. Now, like I said, this user, SurrealAl77, pointed out, he looked at this design and he said, and apparently he's been messing with this game a while, he said, well, what if you use a bubble vader, which he called it something different, but we know it's a bubble vader, using soul sand and air bubbles, which, can we see them? For those of you who are not in the know. Okay, there's the bubbles coming up right now. So we all know how bubble vader works. These are all full-blown water source blocks. And we see the water is making full contact all the way around the wheel. Now, based on what he described, suggested that using that you might be able to improve the efficiency of the wheel over and above what we've got, which is 256 stress units and 16 RPMs. Now, it didn't change it, but it kind of looks cool. And I'm thinking maybe there is an application for it. I may not be doing it correctly. By all means, if something doesn't look right or looks like it could be improved upon, just put something in the comments, because I am learning this game just like everybody else is. I've got an avenue here through which I can tell people about it, and I'm trying to do that. And I know, of course, there are people out there who know this game way better than I do. So I appreciate that fact, and your knowledge is awesome. I do not claim to know everything. I just have an avenue to tell people about it. That's all. So anyway, yes, you can do it. And as a matter of fact, I know it's doing some good. I know that block is doing some good, because if I take, let's see, I can get rid of that thing. If I take this and go boom, boom. Okay, we drop back down to 192. Now where's this? Oh, I gotta go get the soul sand again. Dadgummit. It drops back down to 192, and we don't want it to stay there, obviously. Let's get rid of the Nixie Tubes. We want it to be 256, so let's go ahead, put the sand there, and that should speed it back up and get the efficiency back up to 256 stress units. So it is doing good. It's just, I'm trying to see the improvement over, wrapping it around this way. Maybe there is, and I'm not quite spotting it. So, but it looks cool. It's totally self-contained. Isn't that pretty awesome? So it is actually, I will bet that just that, if we removed all the water around it, that might actually do some good too. In fact, why don't we do that? If we can, put that there, and that there. Okay, now, obviously, it's still, it slows it down, but it's still working. Obviously, that bubble vader has the same effect. So, you know what? Let's do this. Let's try this. Let's do that. That's cool. That's kind of crazy. Now what happens if we remove that block there? Yeah, it's the same thing. So there we go. Very cool. So it shows another method, at the very least, right? Shows another method of spinning the wheel. So we can use soul sand. So thank you, Surreal Al, for that. Also, he pointed out a couple other things too. Is the fan, which I dabbled with a little bit, but otherwise really hadn't done much with it. Okay, specifically what he pointed out is that if you take brass, okay, now if you remember from our brass setup, way up over there, if you remember from that, basically we put things into that blast furnace right there, right? Well, we can take this crushed brass. Let's cue it in front of this water thing here, in front of this water washer. It's called this washer. Look what it does. It washes the brass until it becomes nuggets, and 26 in this case. You know what? Let me I'm going to do something with these nuggets. I'm actually going to burn the heck out of them. Only because we don't really need them. So let's queue them. Oh, drat, didn't want to do that. Wrong ones. Let's queue these. Okay, let's just get rid of the nuggets so I clean out my inventory so we can see exactly how many we get. Okay. Let's put these in front of the washer. And let's see what happens. And I'll show you how we made this washer. Now you know that in order to get... Okay, how many did we get? 14. 14. We got 14 of these bad boys. These brass nuggets. And if you recall, from each... If we put this stuff in a blast furnace... Okay. If we put this in a blast furnace, or any furnace, we get... Okay, let's see. Can we disconnect? Yeah, let's disconnect this. Okay. And let's go ahead, pop this in a single one in a blast furnace, and let's we'll pick it up right off the doohickey here. Okay. Daggone it, didn't want to do that, but whatever. All right. So, oh man, that means I got to reprogram that arm, doesn't it? Pff, whatever. That can wait. But notice it creates this brass ingot, and if we take the brass ingot and we put it on our table, we get 9. We get 9 nuggets. We know this. So that tells us that we have more than an ingot here, don't we? Look at this. So we put that there. We get our ingot, just like we did before, but we get 5 extra brass nuggets. So that suggests that this is far more efficient. And this is what we did. Let me show you. We attached the fan to a nice quick shaft here, and it's going through this gear shift here, which is currently in the default position, because if the fan depends on direction. Okay, look at the particles. The particles in the fan are sucking inward. We want it to blow outward. We put a water block in front of the fan and allow the water block to flow away, or I guess we could have dug right underneath it, I suppose. But anyway, we put this water block in front of the fan, and okay, let's turn that off. So basically, we've turned this stream of particles into a washer. This fan blowing through the water is now a washer. So we know we have 5 nuggets in the inventory right now, so let's queue this. Did we just queue? Can I queue it? Yeah, there we go. And notice also, you have to put... What in the world happened just now? Why did that disappear? I don't know why that disappeared. I have no idea. Can I cue it again? Okay. So it's washing. It's washing. And the nuggets just went away. Why? Oh. Okay, they disappeared. They were there, because notice my inventory just jumped up by 45 nuggets. Huh. Okay. Well, that's interesting. Well, if it jumped up by 45, then I can take them and put them here. And, okay, so now our inventory is clear. So let's just take a look and see how many nuggets we can get from a single smelting. I think it varies. I kind of get the feeling that it varies. Maybe? So... It's gonna wash and wash and wash, and then it actually smelts it into nuggets. We have 15! Holy crap! We got 15 out of that one. Dang! That's pretty cool. So obviously more efficient to do it that way, and Surreal Al, he suggested that. So very cool. Also, if we take the fan and blow it through a fire, which you can't really see here, but that is that's netherrack that's on fire. And we're just blowing the fan through the fire. If we take food No, you do have to put a stop in front of it. Like 2 or 3 blocks in front of the fire block or water block, you have to put a stop in front of it. Otherwise, it actually blows it to the edge of the range, and it just sits there and doesn't smelt or cook at all. But if we cue that in there and let it sit for a bit, I don't know if it's the same speed as a furnace, but just watch, it becomes cooked meat. Very cool. So we've got cooked meat. Now, if you were to take this and put it in front of lava, you would end up with nothing. It's going to burn up. You'll see it disappear, and it just gets incinerated. It turns into nothing. But lava does have its purpose. In fact, we can take, let's see, gold. Let's remove the nuggets for a second. And if we take the gold, cue it there, and we watch it, and you should see it smelt into a gold bar. Yep, there it goes. So now it's a gold ingot. And that is another way we can do it. Now, cue that into there. Now there's one other thing that you can do with a fan. I'm sure actually there may be other things, but this right here is pretty awesome, and I totally missed this when we were talking about windmills and other power sources, as you can see right there. That is, you can place this fan over lava so that the shaft is pointing upward, and put a redstone signal to it, and it actually takes the heat and turns it into rotational energy. Pretty awesome, huh? Is that a speedometer? Yeah, let's take a look at that. And so 4 RPMs. Not too bad. You could, let's see, what does the stress meter tell? Actually, does this tell us? 64 stress units. Okay, so not a lot. We would have to dovetail a lot of these things, or not dovetail, but we'd have to parallel a lot of these things together to get good output from them. But you know what? That's okay. It's one more source, geothermal, basically. I mean, we've got wind, we've got water, we've got geothermal. Pretty sweet, I think. So yeah. So again, we've got these new sources of process. We've got especially this water washing thing right here. With that, our little come on, fly. There we go. Our little brass production here. I mean, we wouldn't be using fuel to process the crushed brass, because that's what we're doing. We're taking the crushed brass and turning it into ingots using this blast furnace. But we don't even need to do that. We could set up a water washer and not use any fuel at all. We wouldn't need one of these arms. We wouldn't need this whole, well, we would need the chest because the fuel is going to feed the blaze over here. So there is that. And I've tried to put lava down under there to see if that does it, but it doesn't. So we would still need fuel, but we wouldn't need as much of it. And it would decomplicate things a little bit. By using that, it would be more efficient. The only thing we would need to do that actually would make it, I guess, a little less efficient, if you put it that way, is that if we're trying to make brass sheets, we would still need to set up a device to create ingots, okay? We would still need to set something up to create ingots. You want me to show you how to do that? Let's talk about how to do that. Here, first of all, this thing right here, I've set it up. It creates water wheels. So what are we out of in order to make it work? I think we're out of wood. We're actually out of andesite and out of wood. So let's get, this takes, as an input, it takes andesite, zinc nugget, or not zinc nuggets, it takes zinc ingots. So andesite, zinc ingots, and logs. In this case, oak logs. So let's go ahead, put them there. And if we put andesite here, okay, and we put logs here, we can see this do its thing. This creates andesite alloy. Andesite alloy goes in here where it produces gear wheels, large gear wheels. They should pop out right, right? Boom, boom. There's the gear wheel, pops out there. That gets stuck in the middle here. And that produces water wheels. That's how that works. Goes up to 46. Yes, there we go. And This right here, this setup right here produces planks, I guess you could call them. Not planks, but what are the slabs? The oak slabs. And the oak slabs are used on the water wheels. So we can go through and show how to do that. But I just wanted to kind of show you, A, that thing works, but B, that we can automate the production of things. And we would... Where did we go? Where did we go? Okay, so to automate the production of brass ingots, we would need an arrangement similar to this. And you know what? Since I tempted you here with the idea of automation, let's talk about automation. Let's kind of do something really quick. Let's automate a thing really quick. Let's, first of all, collect in inventory a stack of brass ingots. How about that? Brass nuggets, excuse me. Let's take some brass nuggets. Let's get, if we go to survival inventory, do I have mechanical crafter? Yes, I do. We'll get that. I've got my wrench. I've got a mechanical arm. We've got depot. Oh, I don't have a depot. Let's get a depot. All right. And we'll put that right here with the gear shift. We don't need that. Okay. And we'll use this shaft right here for power. So, do we have filters? We're going to need filters. We're going to need filters. Do we have them? Yes, we've got them right here. Don't need the tag. We also need probably the gear shift box and the little gears. So let's put that there. And little gears, let's put right here. We don't need the brass. And okay, let's set this puppy up. Okay, so we know that we need a 9x9 grid to create the ingots, right? So what we do is you take your wrench. Now these things automatically input downward. You notice the little arrow here? We can rotate the output. I'm going to actually set it so that all of these converge on the center row and then push it out to the side to the right. Okay? In order for this to work, you do have to have a central output. They all have to output to in one direction. And in this case, this direction is going to be this block to the right. Okay? Now, can you follow the arrows and see how that works? And see that that is now what we want? If so, great. So let's go ahead. I'm going to set up... Oh, no, not you. Put that there. Put that... Thank you. There. Not there. There. Okay. So now we've got power. That's all you got to do. They're all connected to each other. Now, normally what you would do is you would have an arm that would put things in each slot, okay? Which means we would have to put a funnel on the back of all of these, okay? And tell it to just put a nugget. We could set this thing with a filter, and we would take each filter, put a nugget on it, and tell the machine what to put, okay? Or tell the machine that they need to put a nugget into this slot. Now, they're all nuggets, right? Now, if in the case of something like this one over here, this one takes an andesite alloy in the middle, a oak button in the corners, and on the sides it takes an oak plank. Now, see, we've set up a set of funnels for that with filters, and this arm knows to put them into those filters. It picks up those items and puts them into those filters. Because they're all different, it makes sense. But we don't have to do that here, and I'll explain why. Because we know in order to make a brass ingot... Okay, by the way, the output comes in here. We're going to go ahead and put a depot right there, okay? That helps. Now, here's what you can do. When all the items are the same, or when an entire group within the block is the same, look what I did here. The way you make a water wheel is a ring around the center is all planks, and then the center is the large gear. So you can see, though, we've got the one for the large gear right there. So is that what it says? Actually, it's not. It's no filter because the arm only has one output, and it just picks up the gear and puts it there. That's all it knows. But this one puts it into all 8 of these that are connected. They're connected, you say? Yes, they are. Let me show you. So what you can do is this. With the wrench, you can actually highlight the connections between them and start to connect them. And we're going to go to the back and do that, I think. So boom, 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 and then boom. And that should actually connect all of them. So there you go. They are all connected. And I don't mean connected mechanically. They're connected inventorily. Is that even a word? Inventorily? I don't know. But let's go ahead. Let's attach a funnel. Now, anything that goes into that funnel is going to feed all 9. Okay? Pretty awesome. So, how does that help us? Let me show you. So, let's set up a gear shift here. I'm sorry, not a gear shift, but a gearbox. And let's set that up there. We're going to put... Basically what we're doing is we're going to power up a mechanical arm. We'll put the arm right there, but first we actually need another thing. We need a chest with an output. Actually, what we need is I think we can get away with not even really a chest, but just a depot. How about that? Let's put a depot right here, and we're going to take an arm. Do I not have an arm in my inventory? I guess I don't. I thought I did. Oh, yep, there it is. So we'll put it there. So what we do is we take the arm, and our input is going to be this. So we right-click on that, and our output... Oh, nuts. Okay, this is pointing the wrong way. There, now it's pointing inward. Okay, now, let's try it. It's got to start over again. Input is that, and then this automatically detects this as an input to this. So as soon as I right-click it, it's going to give it a different color, which is going to be the output for this arm. The arm knows it can put things in here, and it knows it can pull things off of here. It can't put things here. Although I guess it could. Could we do that? Yeah, we can. Okay, if you just click it again, right-click it again, it'll just toggle. All right, but this one I don't think has that option. It won't toggle because this can only be an input. All right, got it. So blue is input, yellow is output. So now that the arm knows what to do, we can put it in place. All right, so now if we take our nuggets, we'll put them here, and I think if we right-click this, it'll take them, and look what it does. It automatically fills, because we connected them all, it automatically fills all of them with nuggets, and it starts creating brass ingots. So there we go. And then we can set up an arm to pull the ingots off of here and put them into a chest. So that is how we automate things. So if you can imagine, we take this information and apply it to this. And I think we'll get to this later. But I already proved to you that this produces water wheels, and it's working. And this is the sort of thing you want to have creating water wheels for you while you're not around if you want to set up a massively huge power plant. That's what I would do. And that's what I'm working on in my survival world, which we will get to one of these days. But man, this mod is just so good that every time I do it, I find something else I want to show you guys. And this is one of them. So yes, you can see we would actually have to add this and the water washer to our brass production, but I think it's way more efficient, even if it does use a little more energy because of the mechanical crafters. I'm okay to do that because A, we have energy to spare, and B, it's more efficient. It's obviously more efficient. If we get more than 9 nuggets out of a unit of crushed brass, then we're already running more efficient. Obviously, we got as high as 15, so I guess it's random, and that's okay. All right, but anyway, again, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Helps me out, lets me know you're liking this stuff. And be sure to check out JomommaShorts, which is down there in the description. That will, videos will pop up there, and they kind of give you a visual how-to as much as I can in less than 60 seconds. And thanks again to Surreal Al. Again, I hope I'm not mispronouncing your name, but Surreal Al 77. Thanks again. Sent me down the rabbit trail, and I think maybe one of these days I need to actually make a series just explaining what each block does, because I'll tell you, each time I learned about a block, I learned about a whole lot of other different things, and that is a very good thing, especially in this mod. So anyway, I will see you all next time. Have a wonderful day. Ciao.